Hello everybody on YouTube and Facebook, it's Michael here. Now, I'm sorry that I haven't been uploading any videos for quite some time. However, during that time, I have been working on a video. And now, here it is. As I am very pleased to announce that this video has marked my 700th YouTube video. Now, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone out there for their ongoing support for the past 11 years that I have been doing videos on YouTube. And your support is what keeps me going, making more and more videos for you to watch. Now, I am aware that I haven't been uploading as much content this year as I did last year. And the reason that is because I now work full-time at Bonner's. I've been working full-time now for a whole year. So yes, I do apologise that I haven't been uploading as much content this year as I did last year. Now, with my 700 video, some of you may know that on one of my videos I have uploaded this year, I said that I have been struggling with ideas of what to do for my 700th YouTube video. And I have asked you guys, the watchers out there, to give me suggestions. So, although I've been given suggestions, not all of them have been accepted, because the suggestions I was looking for would fit special video material, and it had to be something that I have never done on my channel yet. So here are the suggestions that my watchers and subscribers have been giving me. So first of all, with this 700 video, I am going to be doing my top 10 keyboards, my top 10 favourite keyboards out of my collection, from my least favourite to most favourite, as suggested by one of my subscribers on YouTube who goes by the name of EB, the original master. So thank you very much, EB, the original master, for your suggestion. And the next thing I'll be doing on this video is my top 10 favourite sounds out of all the keyboards I have showcased over the years on YouTube, as suggested by another one of my subscribers who goes by the name of Cassis Brooks. So thank you very much, Cassis Brook, for your suggestion. And now, the last thing I'll be doing out of the suggestions subscribers have been giving me is my top 10 favourite demonstration songs out of all the keyboards that I've got, as suggested by another one of my subscribers who goes by the name of Annie John ASMR, or Annie John as Mr. So thank you very much, Annie John ASMR, or as Mr, for your suggestion. So those are the things I'll be doing for this 700 video, as suggested by my subscribers. So thank you very much for that. But although I have been given more suggestions by other people, I felt that they wouldn't fit special video material. So unfortunately, they haven't been accepted. But thank you very much, regardless of your suggestions. And after all that, the last thing that I'll be doing, this is my idea, and I thought this would fit perfectly for this video, and that will be the tour of the new Bonner's Music Superstore. Yes, we have moved shop from Eastbourne. We are still based in Eastbourne. So yeah, the main Bonner's Music Superstore is still based in Eastbourne. We just moved out of town. So I thought that'd be a good idea to make a tour of the new Bonner's Music Superstore. And yes, we moved there a few months ago. And not only will I be doing a tour of the new Bonner's Music Superstore, I also want to give you a brief history of Bonner's on how we started and who we are today. Because Bonners has now been around helping musicians all around the country for 45 years. So yes, the time really does go quick. So yeah, that's all the things that I will be doing for my 700th YouTube video. So here it is, my 700th YouTube video, my top 10 favourite keyboards, my top 10 favourite sounds, top 10 demonstration songs, and tour of the new Bonners Music Superstore, and a brief history of Bonners on how we started and who we are today. Thank you very much for watching and hope you enjoy. Okay, to start off with my 700th video will be my top 10 favourite keyboards from my own collection, from least favourite to most favourite, as suggested by one of my subscribers. This was a tough decision to make, as I have over 130 keyboards and I could only choose 10 of my most favourites. For the keyboards that are not included in the favourites list doesn't mean that I don't like them. I love each and every one of my keyboards in my collection, but only picked my top 10 that I personally like using a lot. So, at number 10, I had to choose the Yamaha PSR 170. Even though it isn't one of my best keyboards in my collection compared to what I have now, but I had to select this one as one of my top 10, as it was my very first keyboard ever. This is the keyboard that got me started in keyboard playing, which I got for my 14th birthday back in April 2002. I was very excited that day. I couldn't wait to get home from school so I could get what will be my first keyboard ever. I have had hours of fun on it when I took it home that evening, playing around with the sounds, styles and demo songs, which was a brand new experience to me at the time. My teacher from school has even put letters on the keys, as you can see here. I could take the keys off if I wanted to, but I choose not to, as I would like this keyboard to be a reminder to me that this is what I started off with, and was first of many more keyboards that I would get in the future. So, at number 9 is the Yamaha DJX, also known as the PSR D1. I have got this keyboard back in December 2005, which marked my 10th keyboard. This keyboard is somewhat different to the other ones that I've had back then, as this one is only restricted to different genres of dance music. So you don't get any other genres such as pop, rock, swing, country or jazz, etc. Instead, you get genres of dance music such as techno, house, rap, hip hop, trance, old school, drum and bass, and many more genres of dance-oriented music. I've had lots of fun when I took it home that night. I have spent hours going through sounds and styles, and was the first keyboard I have got that was only restricted to dance music. At number 8 of my top 10 is the Yamaha PSR SQ16. This keyboard is amazing for what it is when it was released in 1992, with tons of styles built in. No other keyboard had over 200 styles built in at the time, other than this one, as far as I know. Before I had any of my own keyboards, my dad used to have one, but 5 or so months later, he took it back due to a fault. I was sad to see it go, and wanted to find myself another one day to add to my collection. Back in late February 2008, I found one going very cheap on the Friday ad, and at the beginning of March, I have gotten it. I had to travel by train to collect the keyboard as it wasn't local, but it was worth the travel. When I took it home that night, I've had hours of fun going through the sounds and styles, and it took me straight back to when my dad used to have one. I was very happy to have found this keyboard again and added it to my collection. The Yamaha PSR SQ16 are becoming quite uncommon now, and it is a great addition to any keyboard collector looking to get one of these. This is one of the keyboards that I would never get rid of. So, at number 7 of my top 10, I have chosen the iconic Yamaha DX7 synthesizer. After doing some research on it and having watched many videos of the synth in action, I have decided that I wanted to get one of these to add to my collection, in which will be my first iconic synth. I have found a DX7 on eBay back in April 2010. I have put in a bid seconds before it ended, and thankfully I have won the synthesizer. It arrived to me over a week later, and I have had fun going through the different sound patches. Over the years, I have managed to find some ROM cartridges for extra sound patches. The DX7 came with cartridge 2 when I bought mine. I am still currently trying to find more cartridges to add to the library of available sound patches. The DX7 has been used in many songs of the 80s, with some notable sound patches and players that have used the DX7, such as the harmonica patch in Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do With It, the bass patch in a-ha's song Take On Me, and Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins, which was the theme for the movie Top Gun. The marimba, cowbell and steel drum patches in Axel F, which was the theme for the movie Beverly Hills Cop. The harp sound in the song Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat. But the most famous sound patch of them all was, of course, the electric piano, or otherwise known as e-piano, used by everyone, especially in a lot of power ballads of the 80s. You can hear it in a lot of songs by Whitney Houston. Other musicians has also used this patch, such as Phil Collins, Billy Ocean, and many, many more. I was happy to have included this synth as part of my collection. At number 6 is yet another iconic synth, the Korg M1. I have gotten this synth exactly a year after getting the DX7, and I really love the sound patches on it, especially the first one as you turn on the synth, called Universe. There are 2 more sound patches I use literally to death when I play the synth, the piano and organ sounds, as this synth also played a huge role. The Yamaha DX7 played a huge role throughout the 80s, but the Korg M1 played a massive role in the early 90s with the dance, house and rave genre. The piano and organ patches were widely used in dance music during that time and is still being used in today's dance music. The piano patch was mainly used for chords, while the organ patch was used in a lot of bass lines. The piano sound was used on many songs, such as Madonna's single, Vogue, Snap, Rhythm is a Dancer, Inner City, Good Life, Black Box, Ride on Time, Milli Vanilli, Girl You Know It's True, and in many, many other songs in that era. The organ patch was used in Crystal Waters' Gypsy Woman, She's Homeless, along with the piano patch on top on some parts of the song. The most notable song with the organ patch being used is Robin S., Show Me Love. It has also been used in a few Wigfield songs, such as Saturday Night, Think of You, Another Day. It was also used in Robert Miles, Children, and in many more songs in that era too. I am very happy to add this synth to my collection, and I have been using it a lot lately to practice song references using the piano and organ sound patches. Okay, so we are now halfway of my top 10 favourite keyboards out of my own collection. At number 5 is the Casio CTX 5000. I have first seen this keyboard at my trip to Frankfurt in Germany over 3 years ago. I have played it and really enjoyed the sounds, rhythms and features that it has. Casio, in my opinion, hasn't made a decent keyboard in many years. The last Casio that I liked was the CTK 691 and CTK 900. After that, during the late 2000s and early to mid 2010s, I thought the Casio keyboards went downhill, and I didn't really like the keyboards they released during that time. I know that Casio has made their entry-level models slightly better than Yamaha's entry-level models, and then in 2018, Casio has made a keyboard that made me change my opinions about their models, and that was the CTX 5000, along with the CTX 3000. The CTX 5000 has sounds, rhythms and functions that you would expect on a flagship keyboard, and to me it has really wiped the floor with Yamaha's entry-level keyboard released at the same time, the PSR E463, when it comes to sound quality. Casio has really upped their game releasing the CTX 5000 after not really liking the keyboards they have released during the late 2000s and early to mid 2010s. I must say that I really love the CTX 5000, and they have done a good job with the sound quality of the keyboard and the many new rhythms resembling some great songs, and the functionality to create your own rhythms too. At number 4 of my top 10 is another keyboard that I love using from time to time, and that is the Yamaha PSR 8000. The PSR 8000 was a groundbreaking keyboard when it was first released in 1997. The sound quality was fantastic compared to their previous model, the PSR 7000. It introduced a new sound technology called sweep voices, which were restricted to wind instruments such as trumpet, saxophone, flute, etc., and at the time sounded very identical to the real instrument. I mainly use my PSR 8000 to do a lot of dance remixes of some old video games music. Mainly games from the old Nintendo, also known as the NES, and games from the Sega Master System. I have also done some remixes of games music from the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis and the Super Nintendo, also known as the SNES. But I mainly do remixes of games from 8-bit consoles, such as the NES and Sega Master System, as to me, 8-bit games music is more easy to remix. I really love my PSR 8000. It was a great keyboard when it was first released, and to me, it still sounds great even today. So, at number 3 of my top 10 is the Yamaha Tyros 4. This has been my longest serving main keyboard that I have got back in November 2010. It has been my main keyboard for 7 years until I got the Genos in November 2017. I was very excited about the announcement of the Tyros 4. I went to see it a week before the public launch date. Back then, I was currently saving for a second-hand Tyros 3. But as I was working full-time up until Christmas that year, as work has been more busy, I decided that I would spend the extra money and go for a brand new Tyros 4. 2 months later, in November that year, I have finally taken home the Yamaha Tyros 4. I really love the new sounds on this model, especially the new choir sounds. That sounds like a real choir singing. I like the other new vocals content as well, such as new scat voices, vocal harmony 2 with synth vocoder, which was a new thing for Yamaha home keyboards, as synthesizers mainly have this feature. I also love the fact that Yamaha has included loads of new expansion content in which you can expand your keyboard with new sounds and styles. Now, we are nearing the end of my top 10 favourite keyboards. At number 2, my second favourite keyboard is the Yamaha PSR SX900. You could also consider the PSR SX900 as a baby / compact / mini Genos. It has the same operating system as the Genos with a smaller touchscreen, and the sounds are so great on it that it is not far from being of the same level of sound quality as the Genos, and it is much more affordable too. It is my second main keyboard. I really like the fact that it has a built-in chord looper, so you can record your chord progressions and save them for future use. If you were to play a song that involves having to use 2 hands for the right hand side, the chord looper is a very useful feature to have. I also like the built-in Bluetooth, which is something that even the Genos didn't feature. You can Bluetooth your phone, tablet, or any other Bluetooth devices and pair it with the PSR SX900, so you can listen to music on YouTube, Spotify or similar, and the music will come out of the keyboard speakers, so it is basically a wireless auxiliary output. Another thing that I think is handy is that for the very first time on a Yamaha mid-range keyboard, the PSR SX900 has a right voice, 1, 2 and 3, so you can layer up to 3 sounds on the right hand side. I really enjoy using my PSR SX900, which is a nice addition to my main keyboard, the Genos. So, at number 1, my most favourite keyboard out of my collection has definitely got to be the Yamaha Genos. I started saving up for the Genos ever since the Tyros 5 was launched back in 2013. Back then, I used to think that it would be a Tyros 6 that would replace the Tyros 5 in the next few years. Back in 2016, I thought that the Tyros 5 would be replaced with something new, but have been told from my manager at work that it would definitely be happening in the following year. Back in June 2017, I found out that Yamaha had discontinued the Tyros 5 and that something new will replace it later on in the year. At first, I thought that it would be pronounced Genos. So, after 4 years of saving up, on November 2017, my Genos arrived at the shop and I excitedly took it home and did a quick unboxing video of my new main keyboard. My unboxing video of the Yamaha Genos was my back then 400th YouTube video. I really love the sound quality of the Genos. Yamaha has done a great job with this keyboard making all the sounds sounding at their best. I really like the way that Yamaha has dealt with the new drum kits called Revo drums, where they sample each part of a real drum kit over 20 times. For example, the bass drum, cymbals, hi-hats, etc. has all been sampled over 20 times, so that whenever you play the keys on the Revo drum sounds, they will always sound different, just like on a real drum kit, depending on how hard or soft you play the keys. It is a very good emulation on how a real drum kit works, as a real drum kit won't sound the same every time you play it. What I love most about the Genos is that Yamaha has really worked on the 80s sounds and styles with lots of 80s synths and synth pads. Some 80s drum machine kits from drum machines such as Lindrum, Oberheim, etc. They have all been sampled and added as drum kits on the Genos. Even the 80s styles sound exactly like we are back in the 80s again, with styles that resemble 80s songs with artists such as Phil Collins, Prince, Depeche Mode, Whitney Houston, all sound like the actual song, and that is what I love most about the Genos, as I am a massive fan of 80s music. Overall, the Yamaha Genos is an absolutely fantastic keyboard and is a very big difference of sound quality compared to the previous Tyros 5. Yamaha has done a great job working on the Genos, and hope they will make some more great keyboards in the upcoming years. Okay, so now I have done my top 10 favourite keyboards. The next part will be my top 10 favourite sounds out of all the keyboards I have showcased on YouTube, as suggested by another one of my subscribers. This was also a very tough decision, because having showcased almost 100 keyboards over the years on YouTube, I must have showed literally tens of thousands of sounds of all the keyboards I have done videos of combined, and I had to narrow it down to 10 of my personal favourite sounds. This part won't be like my top 10 favourite keyboards, as I won't be doing it from my least favourite sound to my most favourite sound. I will do my top 10 sounds in any order, and will restrict it to one sound per keyboard. I know that everyone out there has their own personal favourites and opinions when it comes to different keyboards and the sounds they have. There are many different keyboards, pianos and synthesizers out there in the world, ranging with different levels of sound quality. All of them combined range from literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of sounds. But I have selected, out of the many keyboards I have showcased over the years, my personal top 10 favourites. But not from the least favourite sound to most favourite sound, so they will be in any random order, as I like them all equally. Here they are. One of my favourite sounds is the tape flute from the Casio CTS1. It really has a ring to a real 60s mellotron sound, which was most famous on the Beatles song Strawberry Fields. Here is the sound. Another one of my favourite sounds is the ukulele from the Yamaha Genos. This sound is exclusive to the Genos and wasn't in any of the previous flagship keyboards by Yamaha. There are different types of ukulele sounds to choose from, ranging from different super articulation ukulele sounds and of course the Mega Voice version of the sound, which is intended for style backings and not for live performance. However, because there are arpeggiators for Mega Voices on the Yamaha Genos, they have made it so that you can now use Mega Voices for live performances, whereas on previous keyboards by Yamaha, you could not use those sounds live. So, out of all the ukulele sounds that there are, I have selected the Mega Voice ukulele with arpeggiators. Using the arpeggiators, you can hear the strumming of the strings and the body taps, etc., as if you are hearing the real thing. So with Mega Voices and Mega Voice arpeggiators, you can really hear this sound come to life. Here it is. Here is another one of my favourite sounds, and that is the church/cathedral organ from the Yamaha PSR SX900. This sound was exclusive to the Tyros 5 in a category called Organ World. It was then moved onto the Genos and then eventually moved onto the PSR SX900. Even though there is no Organ World on the Genos or PSR SX900, all the Organ World sounds from the Tyros 5 are in the organ category on the Genos and PSR SX900. I could have chosen the Genos for this sound, but I have already chosen one of my favourite sounds on the Genos. As I am restricting it to one sound per keyboard, I have chosen the PSR SX900 for this organ sound. Here it is. Another one of my favourite sounds is the electric piano, or otherwise known as E-piano, from the Yamaha DX7. This is the most famous sound patch of the 80s, used by everybody. It was mainly used in a lot of the power ballad songs of the 80s, and even in today's keyboards there are many different versions of the DX7 E-piano sound. On some keyboards it is known as FM piano or DXE piano, etc. There are literally thousands of different E-piano sounds from many different keyboards. Here is the E-piano sound from the DX7 that started it all. Okay, although I have restricted my top 10 favourite sounds with one sound per keyboard, I am going to go ahead and make an exception, as on the Korg M1 there are two sounds that are my favourite, and that is the piano and organ. The piano and organ sounds on the M1 were widely used back in the early 90s in dance and house music, and is still being used today in today's dance music. Here are the sounds, starting with piano. Here is another one of my favourite sounds, and that is the choir sound from the Yamaha Tyros 4. This sound was exclusive to the Tyros 4, along with a lot more vocals content, such as scat vocals and vocal ad-libs, etc. But my most favourite out of the new vocals content on the Tyros 4 is the boys' choir sound. It really sounds like a real choir singing. Here it is. Here is another one of my favourite sounds, and that is the house chord synth from the Casio CTX 5000. I know this wouldn't be everybody's favourite sound, but I quite like the sound of it. And when you play a single note, you will have 3 notes playing at the same time, playing minor chords. This sound is very ideal for house music, hence the name of the sound. And whenever I play this keyboard, I'd like to play around with this sound and trying to make up some solos. Here it is. Here's another one of my favourite sounds, and that is the sound called MZX Hex from the Casio MZX 500. This sound really has a ring to the THX logo theme that you hear in some movies, and it is almost accurate to the theme as well. Casio has made a lot of great sounds on their later models compared to the sounds that they had in their late 2000s and early 2010s keyboards. Here is the sound. Here is the last sound of my top 10 favourite sounds, and that is the bass sound from the Yamaha DSR 2000. This sound is very similar to the bass sound of the DX7, and it almost sounds the same too. The DSR 2000, I believe, is a home keyboard variant to the DX7, as this keyboard has sounds that are similar to that of the DX7. Unlike the DX7, the DSR 2000 has built-in rhythm styles. Both the DX7 and DSR 2000 has the facility to even create your own sounds, although it is a lot more difficult to do so on the DX7. Here is the sound, which is the final sound of my top 10 personal favourites. Okay, so the next part of this video will be my top 10 favourite demonstration songs, and again will be from keyboards of my own collection. Once again, I will restrict it to one demo song per keyboard, and can't be songs from well-known classics such as Fur Elise, Maple Leaf Rag, Chopin, or other similar songs such as Little Brown Jug, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or any of today's well-known songs, etc. I have only restricted it to the original demo songs composed by Yamaha, Casio, etc. And once again, they will not be in the order from the least favourite to most favourite. They will be in any random order, as I like them all equally also. One of my favourite demo songs is from the Yamaha PSS 280. My friend had the same keyboard or a similar keyboard, which made me develop an interest in keyboard playing back in late 2001 with the same demo song. Every time I went round his house, I used to always play his keyboard and play the demo song over and over. When I bought the PSS 280 back in 2009 and turned on the demo song, it took me straight back to the time I played on my friend's keyboard before getting my own keyboards. Here is the demo song of the Yamaha PSS 280. Another one of my favourite demo songs is the original demo song from the Yamaha PSR SQ16. Here it is. Another one of my favourite demo songs is the PF Grand demo from the Yamaha PSR 225GM. Although I no longer have this keyboard, as I only borrowed it at the time I had it, the same song is also on the PSR 270, which I have in my collection. I have chosen to select the PSR 225GM demo as the video quality of the demo song is much better than when I showed the same exact demo songs from the PSR 270. Here it is. Here is another one of my favourite demo songs. This one is from the Casio CTK691 and is the second demo song known as Demo Tune 2. Here it is. Another one of my favourite demo songs is the demo song from the Yamaha Tyros 4. It really shows the sound quality and capabilities of the Tyros 4 with new choir and vocal sounds, new string sounds and new guitar sounds, including both plectrum and, for the first time in a Yamaha keyboard, finger plucking guitars without the use of a plectrum. Here it is. Here is another one of my favourite demo songs, and that is the second song from the Casio CTK 611, known as Demo Tune 2. Casio has always been really good at their original demo songs. I like how on a lot of their older keyboards, they make the demo songs themselves on their entry level and more advanced keyboards. They don't really put well-known songs on their higher end models. Here is the demo song. Another one of my favourite demo songs is the first demo from the Yamaha PSR 500. I still love this keyboard and the sounds aren't bad even in today's standards. It is basically the little brother of the PSR SQ16. Here is the demo.
4, 3, 2.
Here's another one of my favourite demo songs. And this one is from the Yamaha PSR 8000 in the synth category of demo songs called Trance. It really shows the new sounds that were from the PSR 8000 back in the day, such as the new synth voices and the dance drum kit, which was new on this keyboard as well. I believe some of the XG voices can be heard on this demo as well, as the PSR 8000 was the first of the Yamaha home keyboards, along with the mid-range models, the PSR 530, PSR 630 and PSR 730, to have XG voices. Here is the demo song.
Another one of my favourite demo songs is from the Yamaha PSR 730, the mid-range keyboard which was released in the same year as the flagship PSR 8000. The demo song is called Techno. The PSR 630 also had this demo song too. I used to have a PSR 630 I bought back in 2006, but since I have been given the PSR 730 in 2010, I no longer had use of the PSR 630 as the 730 was exactly the same keyboard with more sounds and functions, so I sold it back in 2017. Here is the demo song. Here is the last demo song of my top 10 favourite demo songs. This one is the main demo from the Casio CTS1. Although I no longer have this keyboard, I have borrowed it from Bonner's earlier this year, so I can do a video of it. And I must say, this demo song really shows the quality of sound in this range of keyboard. The sound quality is brilliant for its range. Great piano sounds, great electric piano sounds, and it even has sounds from the older Casio keyboards from the 80s, such as the VL Tone, the CZ101, and other vintage Casio keyboards and synths too. Here is the demo song of the Casio CTS1, the final demo song of my top 10 personal favourites. Okay, so the very last thing that I will be doing on this 700 video special, and that is going to be a tour of the new Bonner's Music Superstore. I will also be giving you a brief history of Bonner's as well, on how we started and what the business is like today, ever since Bonner's started way back in 1976. We have moved out of our old premises in town over 3 months ago, and after being in that shop for nearly 16 years, it is a very nice change of pace to be in a place which isn't in town, and to be a much bigger premises and having a dedicated area for each part of the shop, such as a guitar section, acoustic piano section and digital section, etc. Our new address at the new shop is 9 Faraday Close, Eastbourne, East Sussex, and the postcode is BN22 9BH, located in Hampden Park, just behind B&Q. It is also between Aldi and Morrison's supermarkets, and there is a train station just 2 to 3 minutes away from our new shop. So for those who are travelling by train to visit our new superstore, can get to our shop within minutes. Before I give you a tour of the new superstore, here is a brief history of how we started and who we are today. The early years. Bonner's was founded in 1976 by local musicians, father and son, Peter and Gary Bonner. The shop was located in Ivy Terrace, Eastbourne. By night, Peter was a resident act at the King's Country Club, working alongside famous figures such as Neil Diamond, Tom Jones and Dusty Springfield. Gary was also a popular local musician, recording his own albums and performing with the Amazing Rubber Band. This picture here is of the very first newspaper advert, the opening of a new music instrument shop, and that was when Bonner's was born. Bonner's first started in 1976 with the original owners Peter and Gary Bonner. The business quickly outgrew the Ivy Terrace premises, so an agreement was reached with the dry cleaners next door, 12A Grove Road, to swap locations. Here is a picture of the original owners, Peter and Gary Bonner, in the 12A Grove Road shop. A Hastings adventure. In the mid-1980s, we opened a Hastings store in the Silver Hill area, which was closed after around 2 years. Gary Bonner left the company in 1986, and Martin Dodd, who had worked for the company since 1982, joined Peter in the managing director role. Together, Martin and Peter expanded the company into 3 larger retail units further up Grove Road. This included a dedicated guitar and drum store on one side of the road, with keyboards, organs, pianos and other instruments being located on the other. Here is a picture of the shop further up Grove Road, which was opened in 1986. This is the shop that I went into for the very first time back in March 2002, when my dad told me about the shop. I was 13 years old and have not got my very own keyboards yet. Before then, I never knew that there was such a music shop in Eastbourne. So I have had some very fond memories going into that shop. Management buyout. In the year 2000, the company was purchased by the current owners, Tony White and Mike Edwards. Having both worked in the business since the early 1990s, they knew exactly what the local customer base required, but also had the vision to expand the Bonners brand on a national basis. Portslade and Courts Furnishers. In 2001, we opened a store in Portslade, just the other side of Brighton, and this remained in place until early 2006. In 2005, we jumped at the opportunity to acquire the former Courts Furniture store in Langley Road. We closed the existing Grove Road stores and moved everything under one roof in Eastbourne Town Centre. Here is a picture of the shop taken in 2006. The shop itself was opened in September 2005. In 2006 and 2007, we were awarded the prestigious Best Independent Music Retailer, awarded by the Music Industries Association, sponsored by Classic FM, an achievement that we are proud of to this day. Here is a picture of the current owners, Tony White and Mike Edwards, in 2007, next to a Music Industries Association banner, as they have been awarded the Music Award winners that year, and also won in 2006. The following 10 years were spent building our online presence, building our brand's portfolio, and maintaining strong links with the local music community. We have supported several initiatives to develop musical instrument tuition in local schools and through our own music school, which had over 200 pupils attending weekly music lessons, until the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020. Unfortunately, it was no longer viable to pursue music tuition after the pandemic, and we now play an active role in supporting and recommending local private music teachers to our customers. Piano Workshop. In 2016, we took over a company called Piano Workshop, who had a piano refurbishment and showroom facility in Reigate, Surrey. We now offer completely rebuilt vintage and modern pianos, which have been lovingly restored by ex-Steinway craftsmen in our own Surrey-based workshop. This picture is of the Reigate shop in Surrey, which was opened in October 2016, where we deal with digital and acoustic pianos, as well as refurbishing vintage and modern pianos. We further expanded our piano stores in 2019 by opening an additional showroom and warehouse in Milton Keynes. The MK area has a long history of association with major music brands such as Yamaha, Kemble Pianos, Korg, Marshall and Kawai. We work with some of the world's leading brands to provide a showroom in which to showcase their beautiful instruments. This picture is of the Milton Keynes shop, opened in November 2019, where we also deal with acoustic and digital pianos. So now we have 2 shops dedicated to acoustic and digital pianos only. (2021), a new era in Eastbourne. Having spent 15 years building our reputation and brand on a national level, we felt it was time to again concentrate on our beloved hometown of Eastbourne. Customers' needs, expectations and buying habits have changed dramatically since the internet became an integral part of our lives, and it was time to reposition ourselves to meet this new demand. Our building in Langley Road had come to the end of its useful life, so we started searching for a new long-term home for our head office and warehousing. The timing was perfect. After just 2 to 3 months of looking, we found our new forever home in the larger out-of-town premises in which you are now standing. This building was a cosmetics factory for many years, and we spent the next 12 months completely redesigning and rebuilding it to make the ultimate guitar, piano and keyboard store. Here is the picture of all the Eastbourne shop workers outside the new shop, opened in August 2021. You can also see myself on the picture on the far left, holding a keyboard for the picture. This shop will be a new chapter of the Bonners business for many years to come. So, now that I have given you a history of Bonners, here is a tour of the new Music Superstore in Eastbourne. As you walk into the store, here is the main entrance. As you walk to your right of the main entrance, here is the acoustic piano section. We have a big display of acoustic upright pianos with brands such as Furyk, Young Man, Yamaha and Kawai. They are all nicely displayed for you to try them out for yourself. We also have some grand pianos here on display with brands such as Young Man, Furyk, Yamaha and Kawai. Although we have acoustic pianos here in Eastbourne, our Reigate shop in Surrey and Milton Keynes shop have more acoustics on display, as those 2 shops are dedicated to acoustic upright and grand pianos ranging from new, second-hand and refurbished pianos. Now, to the left side of the acoustic piano section, here we have the electric guitars, acoustic guitars, bass guitars, amps and effects pedal section. Now, since I am not a player of guitars and bass myself, I don't know a lot about them. So I have looked at the Bonners website to get all the information of brands as I can. And this is also the very first time that I feature guitars and guitar accessories on my channel, as this is for the tour of the new Superstore. we have brands of electric guitars such as Fender, Gibson, Ibanez, Gretsch, Epiphone, PRS, Rickenbacker and Squier. We also have different brands of acoustic guitars such as Epiphone, Fender, Gibson, Martin, Sigma and Tanglewood. We also have a display of different brands of bass guitars such as Ibanez, Music Man, Squier, Gretsch, Epiphone and Fender. We have amplifiers too on display with brands such as Ashdown, Blackstar, Boss, Laney, Line 6, Marshall, Vox, Roland and many more brands of amps too. We have also got a nice display of effects pedals of brands such as Blackstar, Boss, Electro, Harmonix, JHS, Way Huge and many other brands of effects pedals. All guitars, amps and effects pedals are beautifully displayed in our new shop for you to try out. Not only can you try them out within the shop floor, we also have a little soundproof room in the guitar section in which you can try out our guitars and connect them with amps and effects pedals to get the best out of your playing whilst trying them out. We also have a little workshop in our guitar section where we do repairs on guitars and restring guitars too. We can refurbish them too with a deep clean and polish to make them look like new again. We have an acoustic section within our guitar section where you will see the acoustic guitars, all of which are nicely displayed, and we have a little acoustic room in which you can try out the acoustic guitars. Not only do we have guitars, amps and effects pedals, we also have accessories such as guitar strings, stands, cases and bags, guitar straps, different size cables with different connections, guitar tuners and many more. Now, for the final part of this tour, to the right side of the acoustic piano section, here we have the digital section, where we have a huge display of keyboards, organs, synthesizers, digital pianos, portable pianos and stage pianos, all of which are displayed throughout the section and ready for you to try out. If you would like to try them out in private, we can supply you with headphones so that you can try them out privately if you are practicing or just want to go through different keyboards and pianos in your own pleasure. We have many brands of different arranger keyboards, synthesizers and organs such as Yamaha, Casio, Korg, Roland, Hammond, Kurzweil, Nord, Kawai and Dexibel. We have a huge range of digital pianos as well, with brands such as Yamaha, Casio, Roland and Kawai. All instruments in the digital section are widely displayed and all ready for you to play. We also have second-hand keyboards, synthesizers and digital pianos, as well as new instruments. But most of the instruments that are on display are of new stock. We also do part exchanges on instruments too, where we do the best part exchange deals, so you can trade in your existing keyboard or piano for a brand new one. We do part exchanges with guitars and amps as well. You can give Bonners a call and our specialists can help you with giving you the best part exchange deals for you to trade in your existing instrument for a brand new one. So, all in all, this new shop here in Eastbourne is absolutely fantastic. It is a much bigger premises where we can display more instruments than ever before. Each type of instrument has its own dedicated area, and all of our specialists can guide and help you in what range of keyboard, piano and guitar would suit best for you. Whether you're a beginner or experienced, we can choose the right instrument for you. So please do come to our new Superstore, where we have a wonderful display of instruments and members of staff are willing to help in guiding you on a certain instrument that you are interested in, so you can get to know how to use it if you are thinking of buying one. So this has been a tour of the new Bonners Music Superstore in Eastbourne, and a brief history of Bonners. Over the years, the business has been expanded into 3 shops and run by the current owners Tony White and Mike Edwards, that are doing extremely well with carrying on the Bonners legacy.
Okay, so this is now the end of my 700th YouTube video, which is of my top 10 favourite keyboards out of my collection, from least favourite to most favourite, my top 10 favourite sounds out of all the keyboards I have showcased over the years, my top 10 favourite demonstration songs of all the keyboards I have in my collection, and finally a tour of the new Bonners Music Superstore and a brief history of Bonners as well. I do hope you've enjoyed this special milestone video. And now I want to say thank you once again to everybody out there for their ongoing support for the past 11 years. Your support is what keeps me going, making more and more content for you to watch. Now, I know that this year I haven't been uploading as much content as I did last year because I now work full-time at Bonners. I don't have as much time to make videos as I did last year, but I will still do my very best to upload loads more videos as time goes by. Now, when it comes to the suggestions I have got for this video, I just want to say thank you once again to my subscriber, EB, the original master, for his suggestion of my top 10 favourite keyboards out of my collection, from least favourite to most favourite. And a thank you once again to another one of my subscribers, Cassis Brooks, for their suggestion of my top 10 favourite sounds of all the keyboards that I have showcased over the years. And a thank you once again to Annie John ASMR, or Annie John as Mr, for their suggestion for my top 10 favourite demonstration songs. So yes, thank you once again for your suggestions, and for those that have given me suggestions, though I haven't accepted them because I felt that they wouldn't fit special video material. I thank you once again, regardless, for your suggestions. Now, I can't believe when it comes to the tour of the new Bonner's Music Superstore, I can't believe that we have now been around, or shall I say Bonner's has been around now for 45 years. Wow, time really does go quick. Bonner's have been helping musicians now for over 45 years, since we have started in 1976. So it's amazing how Bonner's has progressed over the years. It started off as a little shop, and now we have 3 shops, one in Eastbourne, one in Surrey, in Reigate, and Milton Keynes. So it really does go to show how far we have progressed over the years. But again, I do hope you have enjoyed this special milestone video. So please do write back to me and tell me what you think. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now. And I just want to say one more massive thank you to everybody out there for their continuing support for the past 11 years and making me go even further within my YouTube videos.